warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So in this video, me and my teammate will present about Sharia financial planning toward Ms. Najiha. First and foremost, financial planning is an important aspect for all parties, including household. In Islamic financial planning, there have two statements that we need to calculate first, which is cash flow and net worth. We compile all the financial data and documentation, including bank statements, investment statements, takaful policies, EPF statements, and so on. After all of these are generated, it must be examined as part of the Shariah's planning process that are what include in Islamic financial planning. So we collect all the information by interview a woman who belongs to the B40 group in helping her to plan the financial.
The objective for this project is to establish cash flow, net worth, risk management, education and hajj investment and retirement planning of the target group. It is because not everyone knows about the preparing and planning their finance. Okay, after that, to help employers manage their finance and wealth effectively. Employees can manage and plan for their future finance to save and accumulate wealth. Okay, then to reduce any risk exposure. When we all prepared, the risk exposure will be low. Next, to spread awareness of the important financial planning to the employers. Acknowledge for managing wealth is the most important thing. It is to learn in life to manage and reduce risk if disaster will be occurs. Okay, lastly is as a reference as the guidance, so that it can be followed and emulated easily by the employers.
So now I will continue about the purpose of this project. So the first purpose of this project is to give a more complete explanation on how a person needs to make a plan in managing their finance. With this, through this project, it is intending to help in planning in a managed manner for an individual income and expand efficiently for the management of their asset and liability. So the second purpose is to know more detail and understand strategy to reduce any exposed to risk during the life until death. Therefore, through this purpose, it also intending to help in learning the actual situation of the finance position of an individual, to provide early self-awareness of the value and concept of accounting that can be useful to ourselves where we can make financial plans smartly. So the last purpose of this project service learning is to provide reference and guidance that can be exemplified about the importance of making the best financial planning in a life for survival in the future. By achieving this goal, through the service learning project, it can give awareness to the public by spreading the importance of the financial planning for the better future, saving and accumulating wealth for the children, wife and the family.
Thanks for the previous section, which is objective and interaction part. Next, I will continue in the part of finding an interview. This is a critical completing this work because we have to necessity to our group 5 people, which include me, Aina, Azfar and Aqilah, to provide the explanation collectively and the divided tasks evenly amongst ourselves. We also contribute to the completion of the duties assigned. We have agreed to the interviewer, someone from the group. To begin with, determining who legally responsible a payslip is a relative straightforward in this task. This is due to the fact that the person we choose is a member of our family. Because we already acquainted with the individuals, the interview process become more streamlined and straightforward. On 1st December 2023, our group had online interview procedure in Google Meet 2 weeks later. We interviewed a girl called Najiha binti Jafri. We requested her further information on Sharia compliant financing planning during the discussion. We also explained to her the importance of Islam in planning the money is considered devotion. She emphasized her anxiety about ensuring that all of their riches which she had been gathering would be blessed by Allah. Najiha binti Jafri also learned about the Islamic finance from her younger sister, which is Aina binti Jafri. Coincidentally, her younger sister was enrolled in the Sharia and Islamic financial planning class that inquired about and explained the Sharia and its relationship in the financial management to her. This is discouraged, made Aina's sister aware of her duty as Khalifah on this planet, as well as the significance upholding Sharia in all parts of their life. As a result, she expressed a desire to include Sharia into financial management in order to accomplish Al-Falah. Next, we move to the personal information about Najiha binti Jafri. She is the eldest of 5 siblings in her family aged 25. Her parents are still alive and now reside in Pendang, Kedah. She worked as a civil servant working as a naval officer at TLDM Voluntary Reserve Force Training Center Camp at Glugor, Penang. Her service in this job is only around 5 years. And also still single. Throughout her current service, she has settled in the camp by living a place provided by the military. Even for a single soldier who lives in a single area, she is also given a facility under the responsibility of the military, where she gets a free food provided by the military. With this facility provides some of the expenses in terms of house, daily food expenses, she can be saved and reduced. In addition, the eldest child was a younger sibling who is still in school. She also had her parents who are both 60 years old and his younger sister that staying with their parents, encouraging their daily expenses by giving 500 ringgit Malaysia pocket money each month. Najiha was sent to the TLDM with the monthly income 3,484. His annual pay is expected to rise by 5%. She retired with a pension scheme because she worked for a government employee. She also intends to perform when she reaches the age of 50. The current cost of the Hajj package for B40, which is tabung haji, is RM10,000 per person, 5% annual increment projected. She also started saving RM200 into her tabung haji account every month to order to qualify for the place to undertake with tabung haji. She also indicated that investment in tabung haji is only for Hajj purpose, despite the fact that she has not established any kind of educational planning for her children. She also interested in making plan for them, that it is hoped that her child would one day become a career in finance analysis. The report indicates that the cost of obtaining a bachelor or degree Islamic Finance and Banking, which is 4-year program, that currently around 70,000, respective taking into account of the cost living. Every year, it is predicted that the cost associated with the study will increase at a pace of 5%. Najiha also content her job with plan to retire when she reaches the age of 60. She wants to keep their existing lifestyle after she retired and estimate that 60% of their entire last received salary will suffice. She has stated that her post-retirement lifestyle will include travel to her favorite destination across the world. She requested that we give her a plan in a retirement fund that would last for her 20 years. She also drives a program IV that she purchased 2 years ago with Bank Islam and full financing by not taking any deposit at cost 2.3% per year for 9 years. The car is currently valued at 44,000 ringgit in the Malaysian market.
First calculation that we evaluate for Najiha is cash flow statement. So for the cash flow statement, this is calculation based on the annually of the expense and revenue that's obtained from the interviewer. So for the income on the inflow that Miss Najiha has is only on the salary that's total yearly is 20,765 ringgit and 80 cents. And then for the total outflow that has been expensed from Miss Najiha is 26,238 ringgit and 60 cents based on the yearly calculation. The first outflow that she has been spent is petrol in the amount of 960 ringgit. The net is telephone, 576 ringgit. The contribution for parent is 6,000. Then car insurance and road tax 1,005 ringgit. And the total for toll payment is 480 ringgit. The amount of car that she has been paid based on yearly is 7,722 ringgit and 60 cents. And for the car maintenance is 3,000. For the saving in tabung haji, she has been saved 2,400 and the last outflow is miscellaneous, which is 3,600. So based on this total of inflow and outflow amount that has been calculated, we can see the total of surplus or shortfall that Miss Najiha can get after deduct the total of inflow minus the total of outflow. So based on this table that has been showing, we can see that Miss Najiha has a surplus income, which is a positive income for based on the yearly, which is at the amount 2,527 ringgit and 20 cents. So based on this service learning project, the recommendation that I can suggest based on the cash flow is Miss Najiha needs to plan something that can use as a backup income in case of emergency. This is because based on the inflow of the income insurance in her financial record, this is only based on the salary earning. Therefore, it is very important to plan something that can help her to earning more income. Besides that, the next recommendation that I can suggest is make something that can increase a sources of income, financial inflow, which suggested that she can generate side income by making income service with car rental service. Even with this suggestion, where to find this extra income because of the location of her workplace is near to the educational institution. So with this earned income, it's able to help her in making side saving and additional expense that will be needed for future. In fact, this action also can help her to get some expense where it is very important with the state of the country economy, inflation that increasing today. Directly, this action also can help her in increasing her financial surplus. So that's all for the recommendation on the cash flow.
So, this is the net worth statement of Miss Najiha. First of all, we calculate the asset and liability to get the total net worth, total asset minus total liability. So, for the asset, Miss Najiha have yearly salary as 28,765.80 cents. She also have saving tabung haji, which is 200 per month. So, yearly we get 2,400. Then, the value of program IV is 44,000, which is, we assume the depreciation of the car is 20% from the real value. After total all the asset, we get 75,165.80 cents. So for the liability, she only have one liability, which is her car balance on 6,648.55 cents. To get the total net worth, total asset, which is 75,200 minus total liability that we get, which is 6,648.55 cents. So we get the total net worth as 68,570.22 cents. So that's all about the net worth statement of Ms. Najiha. For the recommendation about the net worth statement, we know that financial planning is a very important aspect for all individuals, whether wealthy or not, for the sake of future well-being. Therefore, it is the responsibility of all individuals to take care of finance and plan finance, including in the case of her. After examining all of Ms. Najiha's financial information, there are some important things that she can improve. In addition to net worth can be positive net worth, negative net worth, and even balance. Of course, in everything we need a positive net worth. If a negative net worth occurs, it can improve by reducing debt or increasing asset. But those steps involve cash. For example, existing assets that need to be sold to obtain revenue can be used as a way to reduce liability. It must be used in conjunction with a cash flow improvement plan to enable a reduction in liabilities and an increase in asset. This is we call as a debt management method.
Okay, next is about the risk management. First thing first we need to do is adjust on expenses of Najiha fathers. If anything happen to Najiha, then her father need to adjust expenses. Okay, from the table we know the expenses of the father, Najiha, adjustment and new expenses. Okay, for the petrol, the adjustment is maintained only for one car, which is only for father, which is 2,400 ringgit Malaysia. For telephone, parent, car insurance and road tax, okay, the adjustment will be no more for she, which is the amount is 360 ringgit Malaysia, 3,600 ringgit Malaysia. Okay, for the toll payment, the adjustment is maintained, which is 480 ringgit Malaysia. For car maintenance, tabung haji saving, okay, the adjustment will be father to maintain, which is the amount is 5,400 ringgit Malaysia, 1,800, 2,000 ringgit. For the miscellaneous, the adjustment will be maintained, which is 3,600 ringgit Malaysia. Okay, for the total new expenses required is 19,240 ringgit Malaysia only. After a recommendation in risk management, Najiha should subscribe to Takaful during her lifetime. It is because when she contributes to the Takaful, if anything happens, her family can survive. Takaful compensation will be available when a disaster is occurs. Okay, it is also to reduce the risk in the future. For example, if she has the paralysis, then with the money contribution can help her to pay her medical. Okay, so as stated at the previous slide of the risk management, Najiha need to contribute on Takaful at least 286,242 ringgit Malaysia, which is for 20 years. It is to make sure that the compensation will be won for the replacement of the Najiha's income due to the death or paralysis. Without having this contribution, her family will be burned if something bad happened to her. Okay, next we need to calculate the adjustment liability or new liability need to be covered, which is the amount is on the net worth statement on liability. Okay, for Nur Najiha, the liability is only for 2MIV, which is the adjustment is need to be insured. So, the total new liability is 6,148 ringgit Malaysia. Then, find the total capital to be covered. From the table, we need to find capital needed for new expenses, which is at step 2 on amount of capital liquidity method, which is 286,242 ringgit Malaysia, and add with total new liability, which is from the previous slide, which is 6,648 ringgit Malaysia. So the total capital needed will be 292,891 ringgit Malaysia. Lastly is find the amount of takaful needed. First, the information needed to calculate coverage needed, which is total coverage minus with capital needed. Then we'll go at the negative 292,891 ringgit Malaysia. This show Nur Najiha need to contribute on takaful with coverage of 292,891 ringgit Malaysia only. As a recommendation in risk management, Nur Najiha should subscribe to Takaful during her lifetime. It is because when she contributes to the Takaful, if anything happens, her family could survive. Takaful compensation will be available when a disaster occurs. It is also to reduce risk in the future. For example, if she paralysis, then with the amount of contribution can help her family. Okay, as stated in the previous slide on the risk management, Nur Najiha need to contribute on Takaful at least 292,891 ringgit Malaysia to sustain life. Without having a contribution of that amount, her family will be burdened if something happened to her.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Daniel Azfar bin Abdul Aziz. My matric number is 280099. Today I will explain for my part, which is education and haji planning. So in this part, I already found the problems for this case, which is Mrs. Nur Najiha have the problem, which is we found in education haji planning for Mrs. Nur Najiha is she did not have any knowledge about financial planning. She more focused on find money than make planning, which is they didn't have any planning for their future. She did not make a preparation with just wait for the turn she to go to haji. She cannot define how much she need to save from now for next education coming soon. So we as a financial planner, we need to give some advice to the Mrs. Najiha, which is we already identify the year. We need to identify the year for the education for Haji first, because we want to calculate how long she need to save the money from now until the future. So the second point is find the current cost and make a calculation for the year we need for money including inflation rate. The third one, after get the amount for the total cost, need to find fund needed for every year. Okay, next for recommendation for Mrs. Najiha, which is I already found for education and Haji planning, is she should learn more deeper in financial planning perspective, which is learn more how to control and how to make planning about the financial to secure their money for the future. So the second one is make a prediction of cost that will be included to make some fund to be ready for all disaster, which is in this Mrs. Najiha can predict any cost of like house will be flood, like a car. So we make a prediction of cost that we didn't know what will come. For the third one is make some investment in any place like unit trust, ASB or tabung haji. This also can counter for the future planning, which is we make a saving, we need to make investment to grow the money a bit more. So the fourth one, she always make the preparation for all things that will come in soon. So the last one is can manage sources of income to be separate first, put into other account before planning to make any expenses. Thank you.
In the retirement planning section, we found that Ms. Najiha has issue in retirement planning. That number one issue that he cannot identify the cost of retirement. The second issue is the retirement planning has been known yet. The third issue that she does not know to save it and invest to get the retirement needs. And the last issue that she does not know the future value of the pension balance. So we as a group taking the task of financial planner for her by drawing up a task for help her in the calculation of retirement planning. We identify the first the retirement age of client and retirement period. This is where she stated that she wants to retire at the age of 60 and the retirement period will be years for the next 20 years. We also identified the capital needed for retirement at the age of 60, and when the calculation was made, we got a value 732,240. The capital funds such as EPF, investable asset, cash flow for retirement also have been defined. That calculated the pension fund, which is 1 million and above. We have also assessed the gap between capital fund available and the needed as a surplus 1 million. In brief, we have prepared the retirement planning strategy to calculate the cost of retirement and identify the value of saving needed per year, hence per month into investment vehicles to calculate and identify the value of pension for retirement also. After the calculation and calculation planning has been made in the retirement planning, we would like to give a suggestion to Ms. Najiha should start her journey with the fundamental of financial planning, that understanding first in the fundamental financial concept. It's crucial because she to develop the comprehensive financial projection, enabling her to determine the required monthly funds post-retirement. This includes expenses related to living expense, healthcare, and essential daily needed. With this knowledge, she may begin to strategize the attain that objective. Retirement expenditure should be reduced compared to the present spending as a result of the decreasing costs of predation. Greater emphasis should be placed on exercising more cautious expenditure control, as the rising expenditures throughout the retirement will restrict the capacity to create additional income. Upon retirement, seniors in Malaysia commonly engage in activities such as travel, attending their children's wedding, and covering essential costs which have been ingrained to their society. If retirement expenditure reaches the maximum level, it tenders those goods unattainable. She is able to enhance the retirement experience. Furthermore, she also should allocate her fund towards savings and investing in various financial products. This is due to the fact that the passive and long-term investment have the capacity to facilitate the generation of additional income for her throughout his retirement. Despite her modest income, it is imperative for her to prioritize saving a substantial amount each month. Although seemingly insignificant, even modest endeavors might yield substantial consequence when aggregated over time. Aside from saving, endeavor to identify an investment prospect. While an investment such as ASB may not provide immediate returns, it has the potential to provide substantial dividend in the long run, particularly for retirement purpose. And she should also consider entering investing possibilities such as tabung haji, PNB or unit trust, which offer low risk and steady returns. This option also allow involvement with amounts of money that contemplate retirement savings alternative. It is expected that a civil worker in Malaysia is aware of retirement choice, such as pension. However, she could also examine a retirement plan offered by the government, such as LTAT or the private retirement program that maybe offer suitable benefits. Utilizing the advantage provided with these retirement plans can progressively enhance one's retirement refund.
So for the last one is for the conclusion is finance are so important for all people in preparing their financial situation and building a specific financial plan to reach their goals. Nowadays, many people out there do not know anything about how to make financial planning for their future. People should know about how to plan their fund for their future, like cash flow statement, network statement, risk management, education, planning and retirement planning. Especially to teenagers aged 20 and above. They are the main target to raise awareness about financial planning. This is because they should be educated from the beginning so that they are better prepared to face all the obstacles that will come. With a particular emphasis of income, and expenses, assets and liabilities, the goal of this service learning project is impart a true understanding of financial management. So the second one, with adherence to Sharia principle, the objective is to provide insight into cash flow, net worth, risk management, education, future investment and retirement planning. The goal is to accomplish this through teaching people how to lower their risk in life and comprehend their financial situation, encouraging early self-awareness of accounting principles and values for more intelligent financial planning. So therefore, we must give early exposure to young people so that they know the purpose are always prepared for every unexpected problem. Thank you.